How do I start? Because I'm an idiot, I forgot to record the first part of this podcast. It's not that much, it's just a couple of minutes, but it's everything that happens before we actually do the intro. So here I am, recording an impromptu intro to episode 14. So everybody, welcome to Pixel Sprites and Nonsense. Obviously, this is the nonsense part of the podcast. So we're just going to roll the intro now, and after that, everything should be fine in the way it was. Okay. So you can catch us live on Twitch. Don't forget about that. And we'll see you next time. Hopefully episode 15 doesn't require me to re-record an intro. We'll see. I'm an idiot after all. Have fun.
Hey everyone, we're back. That was faster than I anticipated, but that's cool. So, how's everyone been, actually?
Good.
Pretty good.
Lot of news this week, so I was busy on Twitter a lot and reacting to things and posting things. So
Yeah, I get that. So what did you play this week, Metzman?
I played. I finished everything that Shadow Warrior had to offer. So let me set that up. Yeah. I finished everything that Shadow Warrior had to offer. I finished the last campaign, which is the Twin Dragon campaign. And it was like I expected. It was a lot of bad levels, a little bit empty levels, like this one. But it ended on a little bit of a high note. It has a unique boss. Like usually, what they do with what I expected, like with these extra episodes, is that they just like recycle like a boss from the first campaign, or they do just a lot of enemies or something crazy like that. But they actually had a unique end boss for this game, so. That was actually a surprise, and the last level was not that bad either. Like in terms of it was more like of a lead up to the boss, not just purely the boss as a level. So that was nice, and so I finished that, and also what I did is that I looked how much achievements were left, and I decided to just go for the achievements since they were like kind of manageable. Like you had to cut a certain number of enemies with your sword, and I think you had to beat 3 realms at one of their times.
Okay. What was the hardest achievement to get?
The last one.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Times. Okay.
Because it's not like a standard time to beat, like an average time. It's like basically a speed run time. So I did that with the first level. The very first level, yeah, that's what I did. So, and that was really hard. I basically had to like pull all the tricks, like circle strafing, and try to like gain speed, run past enemies, basically learn like where all the keys are, so you bounce from like the exact location to the next, to get as fast through it as fast as possible. Eventually, of course, I did it with like 1 second under their time. So yeah, that was kind of fun to do actually, but it was really hard. And so I finished that, and I actually the same day I started to play another build engine game that I have never really fully finished, and that's Blood. So I went to Blood, the Fresh Supply edition, which is also...
That has a lot of noise. Wait.
Oh God.
Okay, it's manageable now. Okay, we got it.
Volume. Yeah, so I switched to Blood, which is
also classic.
Yeah. It's funny to see the little differences between each build engine game, like the new additions to the technology they used. What I always see in this game is that the character is a little bit like, it has more like dynamic movement, as in like you slide a little bit, and if you jump, you see like his arm like bounce a bit. Like there's more physicality to it.
Yeah.
But it's also Blood is known for being really hard, and I think I'm playing it on a pretty high difficulty level. And of course, one of the things that's always talked about is why like the little bit controversial topic of that they have hit scan. So some of the enemies just if they shoot you, there's nothing to dodge. They'll either hit you or not. Like as soon as they start shooting, they'll hit you. So it's basically trying to manage your health and basically try to outshoot them before they can even shoot at you. So yeah, Blood is a lot harder than Shadow Warrior in general, I think. Also because some of the explosive weapons are very dangerous with a lot of splash damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, Blood as a game itself is fantastic. It's basically if Duke is the action hero movie and Shadow Warrior is the Asian culture and pop culture stuff, Blood is everything horror related.
Yeah, sort of like Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. There's references to The Shining. Like this.
Nice.
This level is a part of like a series of levels that's a little bit based on the mansion or like the hotel. Sorry for. So like the mazes, the mazes return in fashion. You can actually find a dead Jack as well. It's like one of the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And other than that, there's lots of one-liners from like Macbeth in there, and there's like a fun fair, creepy fun fair with mimes and Jojo the Idiot Circus Boy. It's really there's a lot of stuff in there. It's full of these like funny locations where exploring is just fun. Basically the same as the other build engine games, where you go through these themed levels, and it's just a lot of fun. And I'm playing through it. I'm myself. I'm pretty far in. I think in the main campaign. But yeah, I never finished it originally, so I'm kind of trying to remedy it because I am a big fan. But I think I played the shareware a lot when that was a thing, where you get one full episode and you just replay that over and over. Yeah. But I've never got really far into the actual released campaign. So same. That's what I did with Shadow Warrior as well. Try to finish that. And of course, what is fun is that it has all the expansions in this version, the fresh supply version. So I'll be playing those as well. Cryptic Passage, I think, is the title. It's really fun. Other than that, I haven't played a lot of other games. Like I said, there was a lot of news this week. I've just been chilling out a bit. And I'd say the Sunday after our for a previous show, I think. Yeah, I watched 2 movies like during the day, so I haven't really played a lot of games other than that. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what about you, Benjiro?
So, well, the same about the movie. The movies is pretty much the same for me. So on Sunday, I watched 3 John Wick movies in a row. That was a lot of. That was a big body count. So yeah, I had a lot of. I never watched those movies. Actually, a colleague brought them up, and they were up on Amazon Prime. So I was like, I have a couple of hours to kill, so that's what I did.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the movies. So
I only watched the first myself. So
they're fun. They're fun.
Yeah,
the third one gets a little bit out there. Like it's, all of a sudden, basically everybody is an assassin. He hands out coins to everybody to get favors because he's excommunicated, and even the freaking cap he gets into is part of that world. So basically, everybody is an assassin at that point. So it gets a little bit ridiculous, but it's fun, and it's just dumb entertainment. You can turn off your brain and just watch that movie. A lot of fun,
and the acting is good. So
yeah. On the gaming side of things, I didn't really play a lot. I did play because I wanted to have something for this segment of the podcast. I did play some Kena. So Kena is a very interesting game. First of all, it's starting to pour down here. It's a very cute-looking game, but it's about spirits, the death, and their passage from life into death. So it has some kind of Pikmin thing going for it with those cute little furballs. You will collect multiple furballs through the levels, and eventually they'll be able to pick up stones, and you can move those around and change the platforms. It's a little less intensive than I would say Pikmin is. You're not micromanaging them. You're basically just telling them to go from point A to point B, and they'll get there on their own accord. And then you just have to press a single button, and they'll drop the stone. I haven't played a lot. The combat's kind of okay. It's you basically have a shield, you can dodge roll, and you can parry attacks. The attacks are on the L1 and L2 button, so it feels a lot like Dark Souls, like a Souls type game in that regard. Although it's a little bit more fluent, so it kind of reminds me of a mixture of Zelda and Dark Souls if it comes to the combat.
I mean, not that surprising, because I know that the dev team originally created the very highly regarded Majora's Mask short.
Yeah, they were an animation studio before this. Yeah.
So the game definitely looks fantastic. It's very well made. The story seems to have to get some impact, but it's a beautiful world to traverse. I've only played it for about 2 hours, I think, at most. So I'm definitely going back to Cana for this week to see what else is there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of... they added it to PlayStation Plus, I think, this week. Yeah,
so I had the physical version. It's still in seal because I didn't have a chance to play it yet. And it came out on PS Now, so I might as well just pick the digital version and don't have to bother swapping discs. I'm just a lazy boy. And I'm playing that version now, and it's... if you have a PlayStation, or you're able to have PlayStation Plus available to you, and you can play this on PS4 and PS5, definitely give it a look.
Yep.
Other than that, I've played a little bit of Gotham Knights. So I'm kind of okay with the game. It's a little strange because it doesn't feel like an Arkham game. To be fair, it's not actually an Arkham game. But it feels like it should be. It looks like it should be. It's Montreal that made this, right? If I'm correct. So they did do but they did do Arkham Origins, so they are familiar with the Arkham franchise. But the combat system is completely different. It's more it's more of like a live action kind of game. It's kind of weird because it's not a live service game, but you do have the enemies have levels now. You have different gear you can equip. You have different skill trees you can unlock. So it's way more RPG now, and I'm not sure if it actually needed that. So I'm really on the fence about that part. Other than the game does look good. So
it seems like is it more of an Arkham game than the Suicide Squad was gonna be?
I think this is like an in between with the Suicide Squad was like definitive action. And here there's still like remnants of the old Arkham games, but it's
sneaking around a bit. Still.
But it's not completely there.
No. I played a small portion of it, and the combat is the combat in the Arkham games is very rhythmic.
Yeah, it's a reactionary combat, right? The
original. But it feels like a dance, and with this it doesn't. If you hold your attack button longer, you'll actually do a heavy attack. So it's not the same. You don't really you don't really react to their combat or counter their combat moves, but it's mostly just dodging and just getting back in there. So it's really different. Also, usually when you would meet guys with guns, that would be your tell to get the heck out of there because they're going to shoot you and you're going to die. In this game, guns aren't that impactful. Like if you get shot, it still hurts, but they're easy to handle. You can stagger them very easily, and then you can just take them down using melee. So there's not so much an emphasis on stealth. The game does have co-op. We haven't actually checked that out yet. I think we should.
We should definitely do that.
We should check that out. How that kind of feels. The game is definitely underappreciated. It's not a bad game, but it had a lot to live up to. It had to live up to the Arkham games. Obviously, Arkham Knight wasn't the greatest. I think most people still consider City to be the pinnacle of Arkham games. But it's just not up there. The quality is slightly less, to say so, which is fair because it's not a Rocksteady game. It's Montreal, and Origins was also, let's be honest, not of the same quality as the stuff that Rocksteady brought out.
Yeah, it was a good game, but not on the level, indeed, as Asylum and City.
No.
Yeah. So, all right. Thanks. We're definitely going to try this one at some point together.
Would be cool.
Yeah.
So what did you do this week?
Yeah. I was just about to say that. I've been playing this game quite a bit.
Borderlands 3. You continue then.
Yeah. I traveled through the universe for the first time, I think, and it's there's a lot of fun stuff in there. I know the game is 3 years old by now, but I just picked up all the extra stuff for it because it was on sale, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I've been, it's a fun shooter, lots of loot and fun weird characters, and I played Borderlands 1, 2, Tales of the Borderlands, and then the pre-sequel. So that's a lot of fun. And I'm definitely going to finish this and probably pick up Tiny Tina's Wonderland at some point.
Yeah,
I just like the Borderlands franchise because it has so many different and weird weapons, fun, crazy characters. It's just
it's one of those games that just chill to play, where you're just going around killing things and doing objectives, and like there is a story there, but it's mostly just. Yeah,
it's fun.
Like a little bit like Diablo, where you just play the game. Yeah, like you can turn your mind off a little bit.
Vehicular slaughter, of course, which is also fun. Different kinds of vehicles, like a mono wheel. That's a lot of fun. And Mose is. I haven't played tried the other characters yet, but Mose is. He's a soldier who has a giant mech.
Oh, okay.
Or Big Mac.
Big Mac.
A Big Mac, yeah.
Sponsored by McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly. No, but he's fun to play with, and a basic character kind of, as in he's a soldier. The one is an animal trainer, I think, a robot animal trainer. There's of course a siren in there, and it's just you get to see a lot of other characters from the previous games, even from Tales from the Borderlands.
Okay.
One of them plays a very big part in it. And it's just, I don't know. I can have a lot of fun with this over time. So, and of course, there's all the expansions. So, hours and hours of gameplay in there right now for me. And like I said,
I actually call them out on buying all the expansions.
Yeah, because you thought I actually bought it for full price, but I did.
So I checked Steam and I could see that he actually bought them, and I checked it out. I called him up instantly, like, dude, did you just spend $100 on the Borderlands? What the heck did you do? Like, no, I got it on sale. It's like $25.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, they did give out like Tiny Tina for free a while back.
Well, that's a prequel. That's a prequel of the full Tiny Tina Wonderlands game. Yeah.
Oh,
but the Tiny Tina Wonderlands game is not the same as the regular Borderlands games. It's more
D&D. I know that.
Yeah.
That's a separate game. Yeah,
it's a separate game.
They're pretending to play D&D in that.
Yeah, and Tiny Tina is a fun character.
Yes.
So weird.
The only Borderlands thing I actually liked was Tales of the Borderlands. That's the only thing I liked. Yeah. For some reason, I can't get into the shooters.
I haven't tried the new one though. There's a new one, but
I know there's a new one, but
it's not very good. So,
no, but it also, that's one of those things where it was announced, but they didn't like raise the flag or put a big spotlight on it. It was just suddenly there, and then it was released, and nobody was talking about it.
Nope.
And it's so weird because the previous one were really high regarded and always talked about.
Yeah.
So
the previous one was made by Telltale, and this one wasn't.
Yeah.
This one was, I think, from Gearbox themselves.
Yeah, but basically the Tales of the Borderlands franchise obviously returned to Gearbox.
Mm-hmm.
So they or 2K actually, I think.
Yeah.
So
Gearbox.
they just decided to make one themselves, and obviously it didn't hit the same notes.
No.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah. And what I did like about Borderlands 3 is I just saw it in screen, but I'm not really sure what I wanted to say about it anymore.
That guy's belly button.
Yeah, no, then never mind. There's just a lot of different fun weapons, and I'm glad it runs really well on my system as well. So now that I mean, I haven't been able to play this game because I wanted to play it for a long time.
Yeah.
But I haven't been able to play it because I never had a working system. So my GPU
you have a lot to keep
to catch up.
Catch up on.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
But speaking of catching up or playing new stuff, actually in this case, I've also been playing Everspace 2.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I might pick that up at a certain point.
It's I mean, there's no more roguelike part of it. We talked about it a while back, but I like it. It's very arcadey. Again, another looter, basically.
Yeah.
It's there's so much stuff you can find at some point, different areas you can check, and it displays really well. Yeah. It's
PC Gamer called it Diablo in space.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, it's definitely Diablo in space.
Just give me Diablo. Get rid of all the other looters. I want Diablo back.
There's coming.
There's a new beta coming for Diablo. So yeah. But no, this is a fun game. I haven't got any new ships yet. I'm still at the first part of the area. I did play the demo I think not last week, but a couple of days before, and then I realized, it's going to be on Game Pass this week. So yeah, so it's going to Game Pass. So
yeah, I like that there's also planets. Like it's not just space. There's also just planets stuff.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean, it's not an open space area. You do go from area to area. It's not an open world space game. But you travel between the areas, just with some jump speed.
Yeah, so there's like different sectors basically.
Yeah, and when you travel from sector to sector, you can find new areas that you can. Like an unknown signal suddenly pops up, and that just gives a new challenge. For example. So one of them is a base that I had to destroy, and which was really challenging actually. So I like that, yeah. And it's a good looking game. Story is told through, these sort of things.
Cutscene stuff.
Yeah. Cutscenes not really, but artwork mostly, yeah. And pop-ups that show their faces and just some screens. But there's a lot of diversity in there. And
you even go underwater?
Yep. I mean, I haven't gotten that far, but that's what
that looks good. I'm watching it in the trailer.
Yeah. So it's a challenge. It's fun, and the story definitely continues on the first game with an interesting approach.
Okay.
Because like the first game is roguelike, and they definitely mentioned that in the game itself.
Oh, okay, yeah, the story consequence of that.
Right. Yeah, I think this is an old trailer because I think it was delayed for a bit. I don't think it came out April 6th, a little bit later, but or it came out last week. I think it came out last week, so the week before that. But yeah, definitely one to keep an eye on. And that's about it. There's some other game I want to talk about, but that's going to be next week. So
okay, saving it for later.
Okay.
Yeah, and that means that we can go on to some news stuff.
Yes.
And we just talked about it, but Suicide Squad has been delayed. But I think we already talked about that. Wasn't that removed from the dock, or was it added? I think that's old stuff. that wasn't removed. No, the biggest thing that we're going to talk about is I think right now Sega, which has acquired Rovio, the Angry Birds developers.
Is it a thing though? Like, let's be honest. Does somebody still care about
The birds.
Angry Birds?
Nope. And that's why they probably sold the company to Sega.
But why would Sega buy it?
Because they want access to their mobile gaming expertise.
Okay.
So we're gonna get Angry Sonic, because that's
there's a
what's
big
gonna
chance.
happen.
Yeah, there's a big chance of that. We're definitely going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to get an.
Obviously, it's going to be like spin attacks and stuff like that. I can see that happen, but
yeah, I mean, not just Sonic, but basically the entire Sega archive can be used for
Super Monkey Ball, Angry Monkey Balls.
Yeah, why not?
Angry Monkey Balls.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
no, but they already had a mobile footprint. I'm not really sure they needed Rovio, especially because Rovio didn't really do anything except constantly iterate on the same concept, which was Angry Birds.
Yeah,
they did Angry Birds with weird physics, with Angry Birds Space. And if they were bought like 10 years ago, I kind of get it, but the mobile space changed. They're not... I don't hear anybody about Angry Birds.
Yeah, but they're still doing okay, I guess. I mean, the franchise did... You know, I think it's time for something new, and maybe that is why Sega bought them, because they can use the experience from the Angry Birds people to, enhance their own mobile games. Maybe because Sega hasn't really had a lot of luck in the mobile space, especially not in the West.
I don't know. Maybe it's just them acquiring just more developers, but I don't know. Rovio seems kind of a big name. I don't know how much they're worth now, but. Or how much they were worth? They
were worth quite a lot more, because they were already sold to one company before.
Okay.
And Sega acquired them for just $775 million. So that is quite a bit of money still, but it's not the $2 billion. I think that someone paid for them. One company paid for like $2 billion at the time. So that's a big loss. Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's mostly they're
definitely not King. Like King has Candy Crush. Candy Crush still is still crushing it to this day.
Yeah.
Also, did you guys hear about that Candy Crush story? I'm pretty sure it's not on the docket. So
I haven't,
a random person from Canada, like it's just a housewife, nothing special, is currently in the running to become champion of Candy Crush. She just unknowingly entered an esports tournament, which you could just enter if you were good enough at the game and progress far enough. And she entered it, and she's actually killing it.
Wow.
She's killing it, and she's like an instant celebrity within that space. And she had no idea. She was just playing the game and joined the tournament for fun. And and I think the prize pool is like $250,000, something crazy like that.
Wow.
And she's doing incredibly well.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
It's cool. It's really cool.
It's very cool. Yeah, I mean, all those esports players were like, "I'm gonna crush this," and then she crushed Candy Crush. So.
Marco says, "Soccer mom for the win." Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, don't underestimate the casual players.
No, definitely no. It's just fun that she's basically taking on these quote unquote esports people that are crushing it at Candy Crush, and she's just she's taking them to town. It's esports fantastic. It's such a cool underdog story.
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds like a fun story indeed.
Okay, I just that's it for the segue. I'm just checking but the actual employee count is of Rovio, and it's really hard to find. Actually,
quite a lot of people. Yeah.
Well, they do have an animation studios as well. So they obviously did the Angry Birds movies. So that might be what they actually wanted to buy, because
maybe.
Let's be honest, Mario is killing it. They're planning on hitting close to hitting that $1 billion
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
dollar
insane.
mark.
Yeah,
It's
bizarre
insane.
how
It's
fast that is going.
it's definitely one of the better animation studios. So it might be that
Mm-hmm.
Sega actually is like, okay, we could actually make our franchise, thrive that way. Obviously,
Yeah.
the Sonic movies did well, but nowhere near this.
No.
I never saw the second Sonic movie, but
I know
is it also like half like on Earth and stuff still?
I think so. I know that
I haven't
Idris
watched it.
is playing Knuckles. I haven't seen
Mhm.
it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. either.
I know there's going to be an animated series with Knuckles as with Idris Elba as Knuckles, so that's
Okay.
in the works. But other than I don't think there's anything else in the docket right now for Sega. So
'Cause
this might be that exactly.
I can imagine like doing like them trying to like look at Mario and think, wait, what if we also do Sonic, but completely in the Sonic world instead of doing the Sonic out of his element kind of thing.
Yeah, we had some Sonic series, of course, but they weren't as successful as they hoped. So this
I don't know.
might
So Sonic Boom
be
kind of
something
sucked, but they did a different Sonic show that my kids actually watched, which was pretty
True.
decent. It
Yeah.
actually incorporated some of the game mechanics, like grabbing a ring, stuff like that.
That was pretty okay.
That one was kind of okay. Rovio has 580 employees, so it's not a small company, but it's not that big.
No, and I do think that they have a lot of expertise when it comes to the Western mobile market, and I think that might be a bigger in for Sega at this moment because they have a Persona mobile game in the works, and they have they also announced. I'm not sure if it's ever coming here, but there was also a Yakuza on a mobile game.
Yeah, but those are like niche games. Rovio is not into the niche kind of games.
No.
Like if they wanted something like that, they should have bought a Scopely. The guys that made those type of games, because that's the market you want to hit with Persona. That's the market you want to hit with. You're not gonna hit because Rovio is a casual studio. They want to go mainstream.
It's true.
And Yakuza is not going to do that for them, and Persona is definitely not going to do that for them.
I mean, it's not for Rovio. In this case, it's for Sega. Just getting more into the mobile market. I think that might be it.
I don't think Rovio's expertise is going to help them with Yakuza or
perhaps
Persona, just because the franchises are not. I don't think they have mainstream potential.
Yeah, I think
that's true.
I think they're just gonna Rovio's gonna do their own thing using characters maybe and franchises.
I think for Sonic and maybe Billy Hatchet, something like that. Maybe make a dancing game using Space Channel 5. I think that would have mainstream appeal.
That's Persona dancing.
Again, not mainstream appeal.
No, but that doesn't need to be mainstream. I mean, Angry Birds isn't really mainstream either anymore at this moment in time.
Not anymore, but it used to be.
Not right now. But
you could buy a physical copy of Angry Birds on Wii U.
That's true.
You haven't seen anything. You haven't seen a mobile game do that.
No.
Like Candy Crush never managed to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah. I mean, Rovio having access to a lot of Sega franchises might help them in some way.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah. I know that Microsoft basically wants Activision Blizzard partly because of King.
Oh yeah.
So maybe
that's definitely a big part of it. Yeah.
But yes, Candy Crush is an esport.
Yeah, which is surprising.
It is surprising. Everything can be an esport now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Apparently.
Yep. Just like everything can be a speedrun game.
Yep.
We talked about that last week. So moving on to something that has been causing quite a stir within a lot of not just with gamers, but also within the game industry, is the sudden appearance of not really sudden. It just blew up. Because it appeared last year, I think, a teaser of Unrecord.
Oh,
Which-
right. Yes.
Unrecorded. Yeah.
Unrecord.
Unrecord, which
It's on record, but
Yeah.
unrecord.
Yeah.
It's a little like name thingy.
Yeah. Quite a controversy as well, because it wasn't sure if it was gameplay or real, and it's still not really, from my understanding, not really shown.
They showed clipping.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
So this is
showed
the
some
original
stuff that they worked
It's-
on, but yeah, there's some stuff in there that has people questioning because it looks really real.
I know, but they also showed level editing.
Yeah, they did.
They showed it from the
Mhm.
from the actual engine popping into the game, popping out of the game.
There's some stuff in there that does say that it's that there is stuff from Unreal Engine, but I think it's mostly because it uses the lighting really well, and it looks kind of not perfect with the way the camera moves and the fisheye stuff. And,
but also the textures on the wall are just too clean. Especially if you move towards the container. At some point, you get a red container, and it's very obvious that that's CG.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, one of the earlier things that I had in mind was that it's mostly, real footage combined with some graphical elements. But right now, I it's clearly it is in game, like this stuff.
Yeah, that's the container I was talking about. That's definitely.
There's some artifacting going on, or aliasing.
If you pause the frames, you can find things that are gamey.
Yeah. What also is very impressive is that I know that I saw a video of this explained by some another person, and they talked about how the animation for the hands wasn't motion captured; it was hand keyed.
Yes,
that was impressive.
I actually asked because
you might want to explain what hand key is, though.
Oh, every key frame is done by hand. So just
meticulously animated.
Yeah. I had a brief interaction with the animator who did all the animations, and he said that it's a mix. It's a mix of hand animation and a dynamic system.
Yeah.
So what the game does is you also see that the hand's it's not locked at the screen like most FPS games. It kind of like has a loose physics system.
Yeah.
Let me see the proof that's real here. That's a little further up, I think. Here it shows. He shows here, I think.
It's we're just watching the video right now.
Yeah, but, here he shows that it's real. Like he does some other stuff.
Yeah.
And the gun is not like locked to the screen. Like that's why it looks so real. Like it aims like a little bit like the Wii games used to do with where you aim with the Wiimote and it kind of has independent from the camera. That's basically it. Like they spent a lot of time on animation and this dynamic system, and of course the camera lens effects helps a lot. And actually, I have another video here where this is the first appearance of the game. That was a year ago. And here you can still see that this is more clear. That's a game.
Yeah, this is more clear.
Especially if you look at the trees, like they still use like sprite branches. So 2D, you can clearly see those are 2D. But it still looks good. Like if you look at this, it still looks pretty real. But of course, the new version, which is on Unreal Engine 5, like where they go all out and actually build the game, is where it shines, of course. And of course, one of the other controversies is that because this game looks so real, that calls for like, wait, do we have to treat this game differently? Does the rating have to be way more strict? And people are concerned that it's a cop agenda, what they call it, because of like the issues going along in the news today with the cop violence. People feel a little bit icky about it. But what I think personally is because they did some FAQ on the game, answering like the most burning questions. And they also answered about the anti-cop or pro-cop thing. And they said like, well, we're trying to tell a story, and we're not going to tell you everything yet because we still want to, let surprise the player. But they said they had a very nice quote, was it something like you can't plan for interpretation. You can only make something.
True.
You can make art, but you don't. But everybody has their own interpretation of it, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's more to this game. I feel like because it shows only this, which is it looks very like a real, like a live leak of an actual cop assault. But I think there's going to be more at play later. It's more of like a personal story.
Well,
for the main character.
Yeah, the thing that I had the most issue with is that this isn't the right place for a real body cam. So that got me questioning it. This isn't real footage because it's basically at the height of the the person's eyes. It's not on their body. Usually, a body cam it just gets obscured when you hold your gun like that. So you don't have a lot of visage, but that's one of the main reasons that I would like. I have my questions about if this is real or not. It looks to be like a head-mounted camera instead of a body cam, so it's not really realistic in that case. So
no, I know what you mean. Yeah,
but other than that, I mean, it looks good, but there's definitely some questions. What also helps is that the faces are obscured.
Yeah. There's a live. Basically what they try to do is they try to act like the game itself. What you're playing is footage that is found or from a database. Yeah. But instead of just playing the footage, you're playing the situation itself. Yeah. So it's basically a found footage film in game form. And that's why you see like blurred faces and stuff, just to give it a little bit more like this real life footage. And of course, that's also a nice way to censor some of the violence, even if they want to. Yeah. Because it's not that important, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, if the developers who apparently are from France, they're not American developers, because then I would definitely question the validity of that. If it's going to be propaganda or not, and the way they're currently responding. Like in Europe, we don't have a lot of that violence, that gun violence. Though we do have racist cops, of course, but we are not on the same level as the U.S. when it comes to violence perpetrated by cops. So that is something to take into account.
It's a different mindset over here.
Yeah.
So developers will obviously handle those kind of topics from a personal standpoint, and this personal standpoint in France is definitely a lot different than the personal standpoint from somebody from the States. So the chance of this being propaganda is it might still be, but there's a lower chance of it actually being that. It is definitely a very interesting game on a technical standpoint. I'm not really sure if this is my type of game, but it's definitely interesting, and the tech is really
the tech is impressive. I mean, Unreal Engine 5 is incredible if you can pull these sort of things off.
Yeah. I do hope that the UI is placeholder, because it's very bare bone.
Yeah,
actually just terrible.
Yeah.
But
also the head bobbing.
But people will definitely get some can get motion sickness from this. Apparently it already happened to people just watching the footage. Yeah. I know that motion sickness in video games is actually a real thing. I remember Marco actually experiencing it from Among the Sleep. She was streaming that game, and eventually I had to take over stream because she was like literally becoming violently ill. Yeah. So there are people that are very susceptible to something like that in this game. And Marcus says Among the Sleep was definitely terrible. Also, hi Smurf, I did notice you here, but I didn't want to interrupt the conversation.
Oh, sorry. No, that's okay. What did you want to say?
I think because another thing, this game is still maybe years from complete.
Oh yeah.
This is early. They said themselves, this is early footage. Yeah. It may take even a few years before they completed the complete project.
We're not going to make people sick, so we're going to move away from the screen for a bit. There we go.
Yeah, let's put it on pause. And I also think that maybe people are expecting too much from it as a game itself. I feel this will be one of those like a very story-driven indie experience, but not very in
It's a small
depth,
studio.
not very long. It's a small studio. It's basically, I think it's even one guy that does the main development.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I think because of course this game blew up immensely on social media.
Yeah.
So I think people might expect too much as well, like in terms of what this game does.
Yeah.
There might be even less shooting than we expect in the end result, because they also say it's a detective game where you have to figure things out. In the end, he questions the suspect, and the way he asks, like, I think he says, "Where's Marco?" or something. It's one of the things you can prompt. That feels like something more like personal, like asking him personally a question about where's person X, instead of being like a cop who stains a suspect.
Yeah.
So it might actually be like Max Payne, where it starts with you being a cop, and it becomes personal, and it just escalates from there.
I can see some other games being inspired by this, mostly horror games.
Yeah, well, there is another one.
Look really well like this.
There's another game called Paranormal Tales. Is kind of the same concept. I think they got inspired by this game, like the original footage that I showed from a year ago. It's called Paranormal Tales, and that's indeed also a body cam game, but focused on horror, so being really spooky.
Yeah,
and that looks terrifying.
Yeah, like I said, I don't get scared easily, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting experience, probably.
Yeah, Smurf says he has to wear the brown pants when he plays horror games.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, horror games can be really intense, and especially if you make them look really realistic. It's like that's another thing. A lot of people were hoping that this game would, or are hoping that this game also ends up being horror in some kind of way, where things are not like they seem, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to see, because it's probably still a long while off.
Do we believe this game is real? Unlike some other games that look really good this year.
I believe so, personally.
I have my doubts, but I'm more inclined to think it's real. Like we also have that the day before, which I'm still very much in doubt of.
They actually said it was coming back this week.
Again, doubt, but I think this one has a bigger chance of being real than that.
Yeah, I think the day before, like the latest footage that they showed is real. It's just very limited in like it's very bare bones. And I think this is a project that's been going on for a while. I think he also just shares his developer story, and like I don't see a reason for him to fake it, right?
No,
like what's the point of it? He's not selling it yet, and it's still years off. Like we have to see what happens with this project, but I think people are surprised that it can look this good.
Shocked mostly.
I think it's been a long time since we had like a big wow, holy shit, that looks so good. That happened a lot in the 90s, where the game engines were still developing at a very fast rate. Like there was like 1 year between Wolfenstein 3D and Doom, and that was already a big jump.
Yeah.
So to have something like this pop up, even like people are still skeptical. Indeed, after the proof video where they show it's in the editor, people are still skeptic, like, because we don't get this a lot, like these unbelievably good-looking things,
especially from a small developer.
Yeah, especially, and it helps. It's a small location, right? What he's showing, it's not a big open world or anything, so he can focus a lot on that.
Yeah, I think it might be a smaller game than most people tend to believe. Yeah. It will probably just be a few hours at best.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. On to the next thing. Speaking of Unreal Engine 5, I think the first game that's going to launch with the Unreal Engine 5 is an EA-published game called Immortals of Avium. And again, warning: it contains flashing images apparently because there's a lot of effects going on.
Well, they can't
I-
see the screen yet, so
Okay.
no, they can.
I mean, this is, I think, it's an EA Originals game, and there is a very famous person in there for the Destiny players. I can't remember her name. She's also in Suits, very good actress. And it's a magic game.
Dude, Firefly.
Oh, I think I remember the announcement trailer for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we
last
talked
year.
about it a while back. It kind of looked like Destiny with magic.
Mm.
I think her name in Destiny was Sadaya, if I remember correctly. I might be completely wrong. Gina Torres. Yep, that's
Gina
the actress.
Torres, that's her. Yeah, yeah. She's in Suits. She's a really good actress.
She's in Firefly. That's all I know. That's all you
Also,
have to say.
yep. She's also in Firefly. So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it kind of looks okay.
Mhm.
It's the first time I actually see the trailer. It's a lot of
effects.
particle effects.
Yeah.
Generic sci-fi shooter.
I don't
Well,
know. There's a lot of
It's
colors.
Magic. There's a lot of colors. Yeah, there's different sorts of magic. There's also some puzzle elements with the magic, and it does look good.
Yeah, but that doesn't
But-
give its the
Yeah.
ability to seizure because of
Yeah.
all the colors and particle effects being crazy.
Oh no, I don't have that issue, but
Some people do, and we're
I know,
showing this
I
to
know.
people. I
Yeah.
don't want to be liable to people drilling
No,
behind
no,
their computer.
like I said, it's I already warned them that there's going to be a lot of flashing images because
It
you don't
looks
want to get-
okay. If it's like Doom with magic, that would be cool.
Yeah. that would be cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
it
definitely
kinda
see
does
the,
look like that.
Destiny vibes as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So apparently you have this gauntlet on your hand, and you can switch between different sorts of magic. There's a shield you can use, and there's, I guess, fire magic, ice magic. Probably very basic in that regard, but it does look good. So
Yeah,
might
It looks
be good
visually
for some
nice.
people. Yeah.
You can definitely
It's
see the
okay.
Unreal Engine 5
Very
lighting
hectic.
in the background. Like that's something that lighting is getting better at being like overexposure and daylight basically.
Yeah, and the
So
switch
you
between
can see
dark and
Yeah.
when you enter a building, that sort of stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, that's getting a lot better with the ray tracing lights and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, the lumen system that they're
Lumen
using.
system's very good. Yeah. I mean, we were already impressed by the Unreal Engine 5 demo back then, but
Yeah,
seeing it in action right now, seeing people actually work with it, it's even more impressive.
yeah. It was gonna take a while for actual big games to come out with the Unreal Engine 5 because people have to make them first.
Yes,
so
exactly.
We're now gonna see those games, pop up everywhere.
Yeah, and we're getting early footage. Like I said, the unrecord stuff is early footage, but it looks interesting. It's definitely one I'm going to keep an eye on.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I will probably. I don't know. I'm not sure about this. I'm usually with these kind of games that I get tired of it.
That's
fast.
definitely Kamehameha right there.
Well, not
Yeah,
really
sort
the
of.
same
So
movement,
I'm
but,
not sure.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah, it's just like Destiny with the gear and swords, that sort of
Okay.
stuff, gear power.
It's life service. Move on. We're done.
Not sure if it's no. I don't think. I think it's a single player game.
Dude,
I'm
it
sure
had
if
multiple.
it's life service.
Okay, let's go back. Let's go back
right.
to the menu.
It doesn't say anything
Yeah,
anywhere.
but look at this. You have
No, but that-
5
unfortunately-
types of currency, bro. There's gold, there's blue
No,
essence,
yeah.
red essence, green essence,
but
essence
those
of
are
my
for-
ass, and then there's it's
Wait,
like
where?
it's terrible.
Where? No. That legendary essence. I mean, that might just be for upgrades
Dude.
for the weapons.
Gold, blue, green. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
That's
as long as
different
there's,
there's
different
also,
types
like-
of magic.
Uh,
So that's for upgrades for your weapons and your
Monarch Fury,
skills.
blink clip, armor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It gives off vibes.
It might be,
It
but I
gives
don't
off
think it is.
vibes, man.
Well, there's
I don't think
there's
it
no
is.
store tab at the top
No,
yet.
there's
Yet.
not yet.
Yeah, you
Good
usually
point. Good point.
it's EA, and lately we've seen that happen more often. That store tabs just appear after launch. So yeah,
Yeah.
Oh
We'll see.
yeah, we'll see. I'm not
I
sure.
don't think that they're gonna do that again with
we'll see.
this game.
I don't know.
Um,
It feels like a been there, done that concept for these kind of games.
Also,
Mhm.
yeah, Destiny's already kind of, it
It
took
has,
the crown
yeah.
there, and I don't see room for a lot of different games in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Immortals of Avium, Let's see. Let's see what they say
I don't
about
think
the
there
game.
is anything. It's a first-person magic shooter. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay. It is a single player game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a single player first person magic shooter. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have to
But it does have a
remember.
deluxe edition.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
yeah.
And the deluxe. Oh, okay.
And the
That's
pre-order
okay.
stuff
It's only $10 more for the deluxe
Okay.
edition, so I guess that's okay.
That's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
be
maybe
worse.
we're like maybe we're overestimating some things.
Maybe we're
it is
just a little
EA,
jaded.
You
Maybe
know?
we're a
Yeah,
little jaded.
We're like very sensitive.
We're allowed to be skeptical because it is EA. So
EA's
I
been doing
fully
some good
understand
things
that.
as well. So
definitely. I mean, they also published Wild Hearts, which I never expected them to do.
and Star Wars
So-
single player games.
Yep.
Also, recommended specs are a 3080 Ti.
That's another thing that I wanted to talk about from that
Minimum
game, because
specs
the
is a
specs
2080
are-
Super.
Wow.
Don't hit me with that, please.
The specs are, quite a lot, actually. I'm not sure if you can check the file. I added an image from it. But yeah, the minimum specs are a Core i7 7900 or a Ryzen 7 3700X. RAM is 16 gigabytes. That's maybe not that surprising. But the minimum spec video card for NVIDIA is a RTX 2080 Super. And or a Radeon RX 5700 XT. I mean, I'm good.
Does this game have an expected release date?
So there it is, guys.
Let's see.
It's really hard to do this with a. There we go.
Release date.
Oh gosh, there you go.
It says
sort
here
of visible.
April 20th. That's yesterday.
What?
Is it out yet? Might
It's
be.
not out yet. No.
No,
We had
it
one
still says
announcement
pre-order
trailer,
now.
and now
I
this.
think it was delayed, but even the EA
It
website
says the 20
July
July.
20th. Yeah, it got delayed.
It comes
That was
out
it.
in 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the EA home page says April 20th somehow. So it's a Unreal Engine 5.1. So it's their own thing, I guess, as well. But yeah, July 20th.
You know what
But
this game reminds me of? A little bit. Like the kind of game I expect it to be. Do you remember that PS5 launch title? That with the melee combat?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's also with a lot of shiny stuff.
No. I know what you. What was the game called again? It was.
PS5
It
launch
was
titles.
published by Gearbox.
Oh, Godfall.
Yeah,
Godfall. But
no,
but
Godfall
with
is
magic.
definitely Godfall was third party over a third person and more akin to a brawler.
Yeah, true. But I kind of mean like this. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that.
But isn't that like a thing we see with games nowadays? Is that they look very clean and
a bit samey when it comes to that, because it's too
I don't know.
clean at times. Yeah.
But I think we've seen enough of this, and we have a lot to cover. So I think we should just move on.
Yeah. We already talked a bit about ray tracing stuff, and weirdly enough, Capcom decided to remove ray tracing from Resident Evil 2
Love the segue,
and
bro.
3.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
So
I'm not
this
sure
just
why.
happened out of the blue, because I saw the headline.
it
I
happened
didn't
out of
dive
the
deep.
blue. Yeah.
They just removed
No
it.
announcement, nothing.
They did an update and nothing. Like literally.
Which is gone.
What's weird?
Which is
Were there
it's gonna-
problems with it?
I don't know.
Does anyone know? Like, where was it bad performance? Like, really bad? Or because this looks okay so far.
On the one hand, the game didn't have ray tracing to begin with. Like, it didn't.
Okay.
But back when it came out
later, I think
they added it later because the game used to run on DirectX 11, and they upgraded it to run on DirectX 12. And then they basically said, and that was a few months back, like, we're gonna stop supporting the DirectX 11 versions. We're not gonna update it for you guys. So either stay on the DirectX 11 version or move over to the DirectX 12 version, and then they added a bunch of stuff, including ray tracing. So it's basically all fanfare because you didn't get it in the official launch.
No.
And then they added ray tracing, and people were actually nagging like, okay, the game looks worse now. It's not doing great. We're losing frames. Like, obviously, ray tracing is very expensive, so you're going to lose frames.
Yeah.
And people were not happy. The baked shadows, usually that's like ray tracing is a preference. Not everybody likes it. Some people like baked shadows better. Some people do like the actual dynamic ray tracing shadows. Yeah. But yeah, so some people are very like there's a big difference.
Yeah, you can see that. Like, look at the left side.
Yeah, like the ray tracing. Yeah, but the ray tracing off actually looks better than ray tracing on.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say. That's weird. Look at that.
Yeah, so ray tracing off actually looks better. So they removed it, and people are now mad that it's gone. Even though, let's be honest, it looked better without ray tracing.
Yeah.
So there are people who are purists and actually wanted the DirectX 11 version back. That's not going to happen. So they removed it. Obviously, they probably thought they did everybody a favor, but giving people tools and removing them is kind of
big no-no.
Is it a big no-no? That's the question I like to pose here, because on the one hand, is this project yours? Because they're constantly updating it, which is fair. You didn't buy it with ray tracing in mind because you didn't get it at first. They added it in later, and then they take it away. On the one hand, you can say like, yeah, well, they gave it to me, so now it's mine. So stay off. You're not going to remove my features. On the other hand, if it doesn't match with their artistic vision, isn't the creator in the right to do so?
Yeah, but do you think that NVIDIA had a say in this? That they didn't want their RTX feature to be misrepresented?
Perhaps.
That they said, hey, we noticed that RTX looks shit on your game. We don't want people to think that RTX makes your game looks more shit. So we're going to remove it. Maybe it was a call on their side.
It might have actually been a bug in the drivers. They never said why they removed it. They did say they're going to bring it back, but they they said that after they actually removed it, because they removed it over the weekend. Nobody knew what the heck was going on, and they didn't just remove it from Resident Evil 3 or Resident Evil 2. They also removed it from Village, so it was just gone.
Yeah,
interesting.
And then after the weekend, they basically said, like, well, okay, guys, we know we removed ray tracing. We're sorry for telling you. We're going to bring it back in a future update.
Yeah. But probably reworked, maybe.
Yeah. I think they're going to
that's going to be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, it did look bad.
Yeah. I'm looking at it, and I definitely see some things. I mean, for Resident Evil 3, it does look okay. I've played some ray tracing games of course, and I prefer, like, Watch Dogs Legion, for example. I prefer that with ray tracing on because it looks really good.
I thought it looked terrible with ray tracing on.
Oh no, it looks I think it looked really good. I mean, it definitely does need some work, but
there are like different levels of ray tracing, because some ray tracing is just reflective surfaces. Others are actually doing reflective views of reflective lighting and light transparency. So there's like different levels of ray tracing, and it's not always clear what you're getting when you're turning it on.
Yeah, but I think it looks. I don't know. I can add a lot. There's definitely games that benefit from it, but
I don't think like looking at this, I don't think Resident Evil games needed it. Like it didn't. It changed.
True.
Like I saw the reflection of Claire in the car, for example. That's nice. That's cool. It would be more fun if it also worked like within the game experience. For example, suddenly seeing the reflection of Mr. X in a mirror or a reflective surfaces.
Great,
stuff like that. If they play with it, but of course the game was not designed with that in mind.
No.
So,
to be honest, on reflective surfaces, what I did notice is that there was some artifacting around Claire's head.
Okay.
When she was looking at the reflective surfaces, So that didn't when with ray tracing off. So
Okay.
that didn't really look good. It looked better with ray tracing on. I think it was the other video that we had on Resident Evil 2.
Oh, right.
You can see
I
that.
know what you mean. Those weird, like an edge around her, like
Yeah.
around the
The
model,
glow,
where
yeah.
it didn't like calculate the reflections right.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
I think it's this one, and within the station, and the floor was wet. Not this one. Not sure where it was.
Somewhere.
Yeah. This is in the station. Yeah, this
I don't
one.
know.
Right here.
Oh yeah, you can see it there.
see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a straight line coming from her head.
Yeah, I mean, the entire section on the left looks a bit weird. Might
Yeah.
be something from the recording. I don't know, but it
No,
No,
definitely
this
looks
is
better.
this is
Recording.
definitely. I've seen that in games a lot.
Right.
With reflective surfaces where
Mhm.
the model interaction just doesn't work
Yeah.
correctly. I don't know why this is still a problem in today's games, but
I don't know why either.
that's
But
weird.
that definitely stood out to me just now.
Well,
So
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Ray tracing is a relatively new thing.
it is. Yeah.
We didn't have it
Well,
before.
it's not really new.
Well-
It's very old actually, but it's very resource intensive.
That's true because
why it has to be used
baked
a lot.
shadows are
Mhm.
cheaper and usually actually
True.
look better. Ray tracing has only become possible with
Mhm.
I think the 20
The
cards
current-
started using it, but it was
Yeah.
really like lackluster, and then the 30
Mhm.
and the 40 series were actually improving on it. Obviously,
Yeah.
AMD is doing their own thing with it now,
Mhm.
but it's still very expensive tech.
It is. It is.
Okay, but do you think the
Something-
developers have the right to take it away? Like,
That's a good question.
no, no,
I don't think they do.
No, they should patch it later
Yeah.
to make it better.
Yeah.
But I feel like this was an image, I still feel this was an image thing where they didn't want it to show off that way, or something.
Right.
I don't know. Like Ajax would get a bad name because otherwise you wouldn't remove it. You would just let it in and maybe announce a patch for it, or we're working on improving the RTX effects, stuff like that. But it's just removing it. It's like, that's weird.
interestingly, though, they
Yeah.
did keep it around on Resident Evil 4.
Oh,
So they didn't remove it from Resident Evil 4.
I think that they well, now that you say that, I think that's because it was developed a lot earlier in Resident Evil 4, and then only added later for Resident Evil 2 and 3, and not perfectly, like a lot better than what they did with Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4 Remake was probably developed with ray
With it in
tracing in mind.
mind. Yeah. So they did get a lot of experience doing it for Resident Evil 2 and 3, but they kind of perfected it for Resident Evil 4. I think that might be the case. So that's why it might be coming back later, because they had this new system that they used for Resident Evil 4 and then want to implement that into Resident Evil 2 and 3 and Village.
Yeah, also because they're
maybe.
using they're using their own engine, right? The RE engine.
Yeah.
So implementing that was probably test for Resident Evil 2 and maybe
Good point,
and then 4 it's like, okay, we got this. Let's do it. Let's work with the NVIDIA from the start.
Yeah. All right. That's about it on the Resident Evil side, I think. This means that we're going to do something completely different.
We are?
Nintendo had a Indie World Showcase this week, and there were some interesting titles that finally got release dates.
All right.
I didn't watch it.
Me neither.
Okay. All right. So, do you want to watch it now entirely, or
We'll just skim through it
It's
to
like
see what it
50,
shows.
let's see where it starts. Okay.
it's not 15 minutes? It's actually 20 minutes.
Okay,
So
we might want to skip to the trailers. I am gonna put sound on this side because I had sound off.
yeah, it's only like 21 minutes.
Well, we can do some live reactions.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Hi everyone! They're always so cheerful and happy.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Nintendo.
I know. I mean, it
Let's get this show on
gives
the
you
road.
kind of a happy energy.
Yeah, it's such a different like branch of video games industry.
Mhm. I love that.
Top of Mount Fugu, the cat god
All right.
meets
I like the art
Yeah.
style. It looks really cool.
A little
Yeah,
bit
that's
Okami-esque,
Yep.
actually.
That's what I had in mind as well. But then I saw
Oh.
the cat. I'm like, this isn't Okami.
Granting each one
No,
a fortune.
but it's the same art style.
Yeah.
Sort
But
of.
also
yeah,
the other characters in the
right,
background
right.
with the big nose and stuff.
Yep.
It's very Japanese inspired.
Is
Yeah.
it? This has to be kind of inspired or
Coming from Asia, probably. Yeah.
interesting.
Hmm.
To be fair, Okami is inspired by Japanese
I mean,
art.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
calligraphy.
I played the
art
demo
stuff.
for this game, and I really like it. It's Mineko's Night Market, which is
You're spoiling it now.
no, it's not. This game's been announced a while back already for other systems. I think this was the Switch announcement.
Welcome to Mineko's Night Market.
There is so
Oh,
many.
it's
indie
made by
games.
Humble, so it's gonna be in the
Published
Humble
by
bundle
Humble.
or some bundle. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
either be in the monthly or it's gonna be in that free thing.
Yeah, that vault thing. Yeah,
No longer be a legend.
As the adorable
Interesting.
it's a fun puzzle game. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've personally grown out of these kind of games.
Oh,
And wow, this market is bustling.
There's a
Like
love-
this is
I
definitely this is really fun
cozy.
for children. I think just
No,
to have these.
no, I
not-
don't think it is. No,
No, this is not a kids
mean,
game.
I don't think it's a kids game per se. No.
Says
Like
the
I said,
guy that
I-
plays Mario on stream. I've grown out of these type of games.
no.
No.
I only play gritty shooters from the 90s.
I
I think
love
Mario
cozy.
is more like Disney, where it's for everyone.
Along the way.
And this, I don't know. This feels. Nah, I wouldn't. I don't think I would dive into this game. Like it's
That's
more.
fine.
It's more light on gameplay.
Next up is my time at Sandrock. I played the previous game, My Time at Portia, and it's not really my kind of thing.
it's a farm. It's a life sim, right?
It's sort of.
Okay,
There's
I'm
also
skipping
some mining
through some
stuff.
of the
and,
talking
yeah,
points.
To its former
Yeah.
glory.
I mean, yeah, it's more than just farming, but it's definitely crafting and that sort of stuff.
It's a crafting game. Like
Yeah. With farming stuff, of course. And there's some mining, and that's yeah. I mean, there's a market for it. I mean, My Time at Portia did really well.
Mm.
So this is a sequel, basically.
Why not venture
Yeah.
into ancient
You know,
ruins?
different area of the world.
Or
Ooh,
The fun
dynamic
part-
digging.
Yeah, that was really surprising. Also in My Time in Portia,
popular with the monsters. So
just
take them down.
this dynamic
Combat.
digging stuff with the ground, you know, being removed, and
it looks
that was interesting. But
roguelite cooking management.
yep.
Oh no.
Well, that
It's-
could be a fun party game.
Yeah, it's sort of like Overcooked, but also not.
It looks very inspired by Overcooked.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's also more management apparently. So
Oh yeah, you earn stuff and you build out your things, I guess. Yeah, new garage elements. Ah, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, they use this music.
automating stuff and that sort of things. So it's all sorts of different things together.
Okay, and this is multiplayer.
Oh,
right?
it's
Yeah, this
Yocast Games. This is the guys that did Game Dev Tycoon.
Oh, Yocast, yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
interesting.
So, and I actually enjoy Yocast Game Dev
Yocast, yeah.
Tycoon. So yeah,
Yeah.
this might be fun.
This might be fun. Yeah,
Create,
especially with more people.
automate the restaurant of your dreams.
Yeah.
Place and arrange appliances
Um,
however you'd like.
looks
But
interesting
think
enough.
about it, 'cause you're gonna have your hands full. Lots of hungry customers will
Yeah.
be
There's no personality to the
I think I would get
characters.
stressed out playing games like this.
Ultimately, you don't have
They
to
can be
have
really
the
stressful, yeah.
economic
Yeah,
I hate-
nice,
I hate-
nice game with Dr. Evil kind of.
Yeah.
To help run this culinary empire. Manage both the kitchen and
Yeah, there will always be that one
customers happy.
guy in your party that will ruin everything.
Mhm.
That one person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not me.
Multiplayer.
That's the one who does it.
Oh, it'll probably be me.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Serve up some delicious
so
meals.
Played
Up.
Played
Yeah.
Up launches on
Played
Nintendo
Up.
Switch this October.
very stressful, probably.
Oh, I think I've seen this, or is this something
No, it's
Is it-
different.
different?
This is something different.
Cats
Yeah.
of Calico
This
is
is
already out,
something-
so
Yeah. The Calico game is already out, but this is very different. This is something with quilts. Actually, it looks more like a board game.
it's a board game with quilts.
Yes.
So it's skirts for men, but a board game.
In Calico,
I mean, this is it.
Pattern pieces of fabric.
Whoa.
Could be a fun
Okay.
puzzle game for people, but not for me.
It's a puzzle game.
It's how to make a quilt. Yeah.
Well, you can pet the kitty.
Yep.
That's good. If there's a pet in a game, it's mandatory that you should pet.
Yeah.
It's
true.
yeah.
I mean, you have to.
Without that, it will never be Game of the Year.
No. Exactly.
It's I don't know.
They're stealing your quilts. Cats,
Oh,
yeah.
there you can.
Oh my! You can customize your cat.
Customize your cats, yeah.
That's
All right.
customization right there.
Customization, yeah.
Quilts and cats of calico. Huh.
Oh.
Right. Oh, this is a rhythm game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yep. So rhythm RPG, I think.
That is some.
Bouncing up and down with the characters.
Yeah.
Isn't this? I think
my
this is
God.
from the same people that did the.
Oh
what's
yeah,
it
this
called?
is Necrodancer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Really?
Same
Oh.
people. Yeah.
Oh,
Crypt
that's
of the
what I
Necrodancer people.
Yeah.
The music
it-
is
it-
good though.
Mm-hmm. Rift of the Necrodancer.
Yeah.
See?
Oh,
That-
so
that
they're
might be good.
expanding it.
Yeah,
That
it might
might
be
be
fun.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at that.
Wow, this game has some
Yep.
sick beats.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is definitely
For a while. In this
gonna
spin-off
be
of Crypt of the
challenging and
Necrodancer,
fun.
You've still got to move to the
From the
rhythm,
looks of it.
but it's got a new musical twist of
Yep.
lane-based combat.
It looks very. The animations are nice.
So match the
Yeah, a
on-screen
very clean
prompts,
animation
kick 'em to
style
the
and
curb.
art style in general.
Each one
Yep.
has a different movement pattern, and, some
And
take multiple
very
hits to
challenging.
beat. Oh, and
Probably.
let's not forget boss battles. That'll really get you grooving.
Oh
You
my god.
gotta evade attacks apparently, and yeah. Miss. So there's mini games from the looks of it. Yoga.
Different. There's like they've got different
sorts of,
styles of,
yeah.
of games in there.
Yeah, different sorts of rhythm games
Next up,
things.
we've got
Yeah,
some DLC
definitely
news
one
share
to look
for
out
games
for.
previously featured
If you're into
in
indie games,
World.
of course.
They're going to DLC now.
More puzzles await in the
yeah,
Backwards and Forwards DLC for a little
Skip,
to the
skip, skip.
left. Exciting.
For over 20
A little to the left looks fun. There's some more Shovel Knight stuff going. Shovel Knight Dungeon, I think that this is it.
This free DLC shovels its way
Isn't it
on
Shovel Knight Dig?
this spring.
No, I don't think. Might be.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Oh, I read a really funny tweet from the developers
of
that
the Lamp.
they're adding something very special soon to this game.
Cult of the Lamp, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it, but they said we're adding sex
Mhm.
soon. It's like, what? Oh yeah, that makes sense actually.
I mean, it does.
Because it's so weird to have this cutesy art style and then having all
Yeah.
these nefarious and weird things in it.
Yeah, it's a fun game and challenging. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I
one
get-
of my followers commits suicide.
Aw,
Oh,
that's dark.
yeah, it's very dark. Holy crap.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't want to
It's
eat
a
anymore,
dark
so he
name.
killed himself.
Oh my god, it's Donkey.
Donkey, yeah.
Oh, it's the big mouth, of course.
Mhm.
Billy Basso. Hello, I'm Billy Basso, the developer of Animal Well.
Yep.
That game looks pretty good. I like the art style for Animal Well.
All alone.
Animal Well, yeah, yeah. So
It's
weird.
basically their first game, so, or at least from Big Mode as well. Like it's their like.
I don't know what Donkey's doing though in the background.
Oh no,
He
he's being
wants to
Donkey.
pet. He
I
wants to pet.
I hope you enjoy
I mean, come on.
I do like Donkey.
But Animal Well looks interesting.
Yes, I love these retro art styles, but very fluid animation and physics in it. Right, it's like this contrast of old and new. I like that.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I shouldn't need to worry about anything.
It's
And it's this art
the
style
animals
also
and stuff. And,
You're
yeah.
not
Yeah.
alone in this labyrinth. Many interesting creatures live here.
a lot of they work a lot with light and dark and reflections
Many
and
items
things.
you picked up,
It's always fun
clues, and
to
a
see
number
it.
of
I love the
ways
scan
of
lights.
taking a quick
Yeah, the
look
scan
at
lights there, the CRT effect
Yeah.
is nice. Yeah,
And speaking of items, there's a lot to
yeah,
uncover.
and I love that that there are games that do this sort of stuff these days.
Yeah,
Not just this game, but another one that I'm interested
it's very
in. as
much
well.
very much a vibe game.
Mhm. Also, doesn't look to be that easy. So
Oh no.
We don't know.
something with
Bunnies.
Bunny.
And the
chicken?
oh, wait,
Or, wait,
not
what?
just nope. it's
Keeps
not ju-
changing.
A lot of
Fudge.
animals.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a goat, elephant.
It's a mix.
Crime
of
o'clock.
things.
Guess what?
Yep.
It's crime o'clock.
Crime o'clock.
That's odd.
Yep.
My
So
watch says
crime
otherwise.
o'clock.
I meant the puzzle exploration.
You need to pull off
Anyway,
heists
there's no
throughout
to
time.
waste. You've got over 40 cases
Might be a
to
good,
solve across time and space.
Puzzle
But where or
heist
I
game.
guess when do I even begin?
Elementary, my
I
dear.
have no
Ian.
idea.
Oh
Look
no.
at your map.
Elementary,
There are
my
lots of
dear.
eras
Really?
to visit. From the lost age
I mean,
to
come
somewhere in the
on.
future.
You have to.
In each era, you'll see how crime scenes develop.
I have no idea how this works, though.
Wait
No.
a second. Could I do something in
Oh,
one
I
era
see.
and change events
So
in
it's black
another?
and white,
Exactly.
and then
By
important
traveling
elements are
through
colored.
time, meeting
Mm.
That's
new
how they
characters,
make the
and
puzzles.
resolving each
I don't
case,
know.
the
It's
map will change, and
Oh,
more
okay.
adventures will be unlocked.
There's something else entirely.
Like a timeless experience. Set your alarm.
I have no idea.
When it launches on Nintendo
No, it might be more clear when you start playing the game.
Yeah, I think so too.
It looks like it looks like it is combining different elements from different sort of puzzles. Like one of them was definitely inspired by the hacking stuff from Deus Ex,
Titles are
Mhm.
not only a celebration of the original
the
game, but
newer
also
Deus Ex
Scandinavian.
games.
Scandinavian inspired.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Ah,
Electric powers.
New Tesla
Oh,
graph.
Tesla Grab. Okay. I do
Close.
remember the first
In
one being
Tesla
quite a
Grab
hit.
2,
Mhm.
you'll
And it came out on the same day
magnetic powers to solve
as the
move seamlessly
showcase.
Scandinavian
Okay.
inspired
right after the
environments.
showcase. It was released.
That's
on
always
Switch.
nice to have that.
Mhm.
Influenced
Dead
by
drops,
Nordic
or what do you call it? Is it dead
Shadow
drops?
drops.
Yeah.
Shadow drops.
Yes.
Shadow
That's
drops.
the word.
Dead drops is for when you're a spy.
It's a different thing, Metz. Yeah, damn it.
Plus, you can play a remastered version
You're not a spy, are you?
of the Tesla Grab game, which adds enhanced
And then there's the
visuals and
remastered
10
version.
extra challenge
Only
levels.
your mother knows.
Both Tesla Grad 2 and Tesla Grad Remastered bolt onto Nintendo Switch.
Oh, they're doing the
later
first
today.
one remaster. Interesting.
Yep.
You can get the games separately or bundled
So they're
together
good
in
platform
Tesla Grad
games.
Power Pack Edition.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
Never
West of
mind.
Loathing.
Mhm.
I still want to. I think I have this game. I
thi-
still want to play
played
it.
I think I played it.
Yeah,
a
this is a very
long
funny
time
game.
ago. Yeah. I mean, it looks with the stickman and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's a very simple art style, but they play just with the humor is great in this game.
Mhm. Yeah, and this time you're no longer in the Wild West. You're in 1920s Chicago.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's great that they're making a new one. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe not 1920s. Definitely inspired by, but there's a TV there, so that can possibly be.
Yeah, I remember the original being ridiculous with like certain features that would
Mhm.
like totally affect your character in
Yeah.
like comedic ways and stuff.
Yeah. So that was Shadows of Loathing, which is
Monsters,
yeah.
and mysteries?
Yeah.
if you like
Sounds you have
West
some
Overloading,
pajamas. Sign me up.
Okay.
this might be
Set
up your
in the
alley again.
1920s within the West of Loathing universe, Shadows over Loathing is a slapstick
Shadows.
RPG full of
That was
silliness
fun.
and stick figures.
Some
Ruffles.
weird
Stick
things.
figures.
Asks you to help
Yeah,
find an
fishman
antique
eggs.
shop in
Yeah,
a
the stick
city,
figures are.
but he's nowhere to be found. While searching for him,
Yep.
you'll encounter a sinister
Yeah,
plot.
well, we
There's
had
the-
so
there's
many.
the- Voodoo thing going on right there, I think. So,
Choose
yeah.
from 3 new
And-
added
Blasphemous
weapons,
2.
Yep.
Yes.
one deadly in their own way.
I haven't played the original, but I always liked the art style of it.
It's not an easy game.
Oh no.
I'm not that great at them, so I did play a bit, but
The first one was really good.
Yeah. I did-
Yeah, there's been a lot
Well,
of Castlevania likes.
Yeah.
Either in art style or in game design itself as well.
Yeah. And this looks like more of the same, but
Yeah.
better, perhaps. So that could be cool. This is a game
Oh.
I'm really looking forward to. Oxenfree 2,
Yeah.
Jacob, 4 hours ago.
because I really love the original Oxenfree.
Above Edwards Island.
The music was so good.
But are we really the ones to do something about it?
I'm really looking forward to this one.
Anyone else around? We've been all over. We've
Yeah,
Played
it's,
the first one a little
gone
bit.
back to the past.
yeah, it's a fun point-and-click kind of adventure game.
Yeah. A mystery.
Yeah.
I like the mystery idea of it. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yep. And this is set a couple of years after the original game.
And yeah, the music is indeed cool.
Yeah.
I love synthwave stuff.
This is from the music is from Scientific. FNTC.
That doesn't ring a bell immediately. Oh, they have the whole stage turning. That's cool.
Ooh, love that. Yeah.
Lost Signal. So they have a subtitle this time.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's also going to be available through Netflix. So if you have a mobile device, you can also play it on your mobile device if you have a Netflix sub.
That's a little side news that one of the Halo developers has moved to Netflix. Another one has left.
Oh yeah, I think the
Microsoft.
creative director also left.
Manipulate the world around
So-
you and watch out for a shadowy cult attempting
The
to
Netflix
over
games
the
is a thing,
altering
huh?
portal.
Yep, Terra Nil is on there, Spiritfarer. I keep saying those games because I really love those games.
Just naming them again.
Yeah,
why not?
Every week. Play them.
Your choice
A
You
Spirit
know what's
Farer is
also
a-
a great game? Terra Nil.
development,
Yeah, Terra Nil.
Yep.
relationships and the story. Will you
Yep.
forge deep friendships? Turn a blind eye to those in need? It's
But there's some
all
other
up to
fun
you.
games. There's also something with Sky and Chaos, I think, which is a fun top-down, you know, Gradius kind of. No, not Gradius. Gradius. Well,
Whoa.
top-down shooter, basically.
Did we just switch 2 games back to back? That's weird.
Yeah. There's this compilation of games that
Oh,
have
it's a
already been shown
compilation.
before. Yeah.
I did see this game on Twitter as well, the cat game.
Yeah. Little
Yeah,
Kid
no
at Big
Snore.
City. No idea what this kind of game is. It looks like a puzzle game.
That's the same art style as that. What is it? That the rollerblade game and the
Oh, Rotodrome. Yeah.
little bit.
It's just
Yeah.
Rotato.
Oh, Brotega. Yeah. Still might get this on a sale because it's a
Mhm.
Vampire Survivors kind of thing.
Yeah. Escape Academy. Into escape games.
Mm.
I mean,
Oh
there's a,
my god!
yeah. I'm not a big fan of Five Nights at Freddy's stuff, so
But they're making a movie now, so
I know.
it's crazy.
Yeah. Now this one finally got a release date. Bombard
right.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
Yep.
very.
Oh yeah, it's a
Inspired.
radio. Yeah. I mean, same composer as well. So.
That's all for today's
Yeah.
Indie World.
Yeah.
That was all.
Hope you enjoyed
So-
Well,
Yeah,
no.
Indie World.
There's one more
today's
thing.
showcase.
Oh, they have a
Huge
one more
thank you
thing.
to the indie community and
Definitely.
indie partners working on games for Nintendo Switch. And as
Do
always,
you?
thank
Come
you for
on.
watching.
Until
Wait, did you
next
skip
time,
that?
Happy gaming.
Not much of Nintendo in
Wait.
in the graphics.
I thought there was
stuff.
one more thing. No, there wasn't. Huh. Pretty sure there was one more thing.
No, it's now
No.
finished. Yeah.
Huh.
There's definitely not one more thing.
No. Usually there is, but okay, fine. So no. The thing is, every time you look at those indie showcases, no matter what publisher it is, it's always about Hollow Knight Silk Song. And
It's because people have been-
yeah,
People
been
have
waiting.
been wanting that game.
Yeah.
yeah.
They've been waiting for that
I
game
know,
to happen.
I
and
know, but when it's
just
done,
not.
it's done. And they're always disappointed because it's not on their
Yeah.
showcase.
I don't like that either. That like it's also like people begging for like certain like Sony or some certain PlayStation games to be shown at
Yeah.
their next presentation. Where
Mhm.
is blah blah? You know.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they're just like, the developer is just
You know-
working on the game.
I
When
know.
they have something to show, they'll show it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of fun indie games in there, but people only want that one game,
Oh
and
yeah.
it really overshadows the games that are being shown, and it's boring. It's
Yeah, never read
It's only
chat
for a
during
small.
these live
It's
streams.
only for
but they're very
a
vocal.
small. Yeah,
That's
they
my
are
issue.
very vocal, but it's
and it
like
drowns out all the
under-
other talk. So that's my issue with it. It
I
drowns
don't
out
think-
all the other
yeah.
talk.
I don't think you can talk in a live stream anyway. It's just
Depends
it's a
on which-
wall of
what you're
text
watching.
that there's not really.
Yeah, that's kind of true, but it's just a wall of text of where Silk Song. So, but yeah, that was there were some fun games in there that I'm definitely wanna pick up, like Oxenfree 2, and yeah, and what Marco says, it's always the small, very vocal groups that ruin it for the majority. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Streams always end in "that was it."
Yeah,
You know, it's
Mhm.
always what you read. Like, was that it? That was all? That's
Mhm.
Every time, every single time. For that, but
Yep.
that's for every single
yeah.
like presentation where they
Mhm.
do that.
Yeah, and we're going to stick with the Nintendo theme for a bit because this week some stuff happened. One website got there's a website that published some pirated games, and Nintendo won their court case. So that was this week, I think.
Yes.
And that was pretty big news, of course. But the biggest news, I think, when it comes to the Nintendo side, was that one of the hackers, or someone that hacked stuff and sold their hack, he got out of prison.
Yeah,
oh
that's the
yeah,
problem.
I read up that story.
That's Gary Bowser.
Yep.
Yeah,
Which is
and Nintendo went a little bit ape shit on the thing.
It's
he still has to pay 10 million in damages.
So he spent his time in jail, and for the rest of his life, he's going to have to give a pay cut for either 25 or 30%, depending on how much money he actually makes every month to Nintendo, until he pays off $10 million, which will basically never happen. So what's going to happen is that he's going to be paying Nintendo for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Obviously, he did some stupid stuff. He was part of Team Execute, if I remember correctly, and they sold off their mod chip, and that pissed off Nintendo, and Nintendo sued him. He went to jail for it, and because it was a really shitty practice that Team Execute had, they have to repay for damages, and that's the 10 million, and he has to pay it.
I mean, it's massive amount.
It's an absolute massive amount for a company, but it's for just a regular freaking human being to have to pay $10 million to a company for the rest of your life. It's
weird.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Capitalism.
It's absolutely weird. It's ridiculous. It's enormous. You will never be able to pay that off, and you're gonna have to pay for your crime, which is. I don't know. In my eyes, it's obviously he did a bad thing. He did a thing you're not allowed to do. But
of course, you need to be punished for that. But come on.
Yeah, but is this punishment? In my eyes, this punishment is way too severe. Like at some point, just let the guy go. Like I'm pretty sure he learned his lesson.
Yeah.
I mean, what Nintendo could do is that they let him pay for a couple of months, or up to a year, maybe, or 2 years. And then they can say, like, okay, this is fine. We're letting it go. It's done.
But they're setting him as an example, and that's why he has to pay. It's gonna, I don't know. It's not a good look.
No,
like we know they're very litigious. They're easy to go to court over a lot of things, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, compared makes them come off as kind of shitty.
Yeah, I mean, compared to what D-Storage, the site that was used to pirate their games, has to pay, it's absurd. Yeah. D-Storage was ordered to pay the platform holder $467,750 or euros, but they can also still appeal the decision. So,
but do you guys know what amount of money he paid Nintendo while he was in jail? Because he also worked while he was in jail. Obviously, you get paid pennies because you're in jail. Yeah. But do you guys know how much money he actually paid back?
I think it was around $400 or $500 or something.
No, $175.
There was a 5 in there.
Yeah, it's $175. So
I mean,
take that check to the bank, ladies and gentlemen. So it's absolutely a disproportionate punishment, and apparently, and I kind of have to agree with Marco here. She says Nintendo is Japanese, so they're not going to lose face, and they're not going to let this go.
That's a very good point.
Be warned, don't f with Nintendo, because they will they will make you pay.
Oh yeah, they will hurt you. Yeah. It's funny though, because the current CEO of Nintendo America is also called Bowser.
Yeah, they're not related though.
No, they're not related, but it's just weird that they're called Bowser, both of them.
Yep.
It's weird. But
super coincidentally scary, but yeah.
Yeah. Also, considering Bowser, King Koopa, Bowser. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, life is weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things like that happen.
Yeah. And there's one more Nintendo thing. This is a rumor. It's not really, we can't know for sure. But there's a leaker who Cult of Ember, I think, who leaked some stuff from Marvel before, which turned out to be true. And now they're claiming that the next Nintendo console could be revealed this year.
Okay, everybody, turn off the podcast. Wear your tinfoil hats because we're talking about the Switch 2.
Yeah, or the Switch Pro. We're not sure.
No,
we talk about Switch Pro still. It's rumors.
Something is going to be announced.
Yes, obviously.
Right. Like the PS5 Pro that might be coming this year, or I read today that both the Switch Pro and the PS5 Pro might be coming at the same day. I don't know. It's weird.
It's all
It's uncertain.
It's not even uncertain. We don't even know if it's true.
True.
It's all speculation. Everybody is a leaker nowadays, and the stuff he said. What was it again? He actually did. The thing that gives him credibility is because he was off by 1 day on the Zelda Direct, because that's what he said. Like, we're gonna have the Zelda Direct on the 12th, and we had it on the 13th. And it was a very easy leap because that was exactly a month before the actual game will launch. So it was just like, okay, 1 month prior to the game, we might get the Direct. So he basically said that, and that's the only reason this guy actually gets any clout, is because he made a prediction which was just off by 1 day. So take everything with a grain of salt. Nintendo will announce their Switch 2 in due time.
Yeah, when they're ready.
It might not even be a Switch. It might be something else. It will be stupid if it's not a Switch, but we don't know anything. The same with the PS5 Pro. I doubt there's going to be a PS5 Pro. There might be a Slim, because there are people who actually want a smaller device, because let's be honest, it's a bulky little thing.
It's a massive thing.
it's a monolith. But I don't really believe in the PS5 Pro. We talked about this before. They're not going to do 8K. They're not going to hit 4K 60. They're definitely not going to hit 4K 120. I played some 4K 120 hertz stuff last week, and it looks freaking terrible. So they added the Gran Turismo 4K 120 mode. Yeah. So I played that, and the cars look like crap. Like, the game runs at 1440p at best, and it drops down to 900p or 1080p. Yeah. So everything just looks terrible. So you're not getting... PS5 Pro is not going to run 8K. 8K is not an accepted standard. Most people are already running 4K. My PC can even run 4K 60. I don't think any video card actually has HDMI 2.1. I don't think any of them have it as an official out. So there's absolutely no reason whatsoever for a PS5 Pro. No. Slim, I would believe in. I believe in the detachable disk drive, because that's actually a logical choice. The same. They're not going to do a Switch Pro. Why would you still do a Switch Pro if you're 5 years, actually they're like almost 70 years into their? No, that's not true. They're 5 years into their span. Almost hitting 6. So they're not gonna do a Pro. They're gonna reiterate with new hardware. They probably already have those games set up. We haven't seen a good Mario game. Obviously, we had Mario Maker, but we haven't seen a 3D Mario game post Odyssey. Odyssey was in the first year. They're working on something. It's going to be a launch title for the next console. It's coming, but we don't know what. And I'm done talking about these leaks. Everybody's talking about these leaks, and these leaks are usually just fake, and you're just speculating about absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I noticed Shigeru Miyamoto, I think an interview for the movie, Mario movie, he did say that they are working on like something new.
Yeah, obviously.
It's coming. Like, he said, there will be something. Actually, he said something like fairly soon he's going to announce something.
Yeah. So I probably expect they would announce something over the summer. They probably would. They might give us a little peek during the summer showcase, and then they will probably show more of the device by the end of the year. And my estimate, and I said this I think in our very first podcast or second podcast, my estimate is it comes out March. So somewhere either Q1 or Q2 next year. But that's, again, it's just speculating on what happened before and what might happen again. And Nintendo has seen that when they launch a console in March, they're going to be well stocked by Christmas and it's going to sell out again and every early adopter already has the device, so they will be buying software. So it's a win-win for them.
Yeah.
Don't release too close to the holidays because you're going to have stock issues and not everybody's going to be able to get it. So you're not going to make as much money. It's easy. It's just easy economics, easy business practices.
Yeah.
That's it. So they'll probably bring something either Q1 or Q2, depending on their production. And they just don't want to show anything yet because they don't want to take the wind out of the sales. Yes, the Switch is slowing down. It decreased in sales by 18% over the last year. But that's still
that's another thing.
yeah, but it's still like a crazy amount of Switches that are being sold. It's nuts.
Yeah. Like I think it went down 18% in the US or in the UK, one of those. And the PlayStation went up like 329%. PlayStation 5 in sales.
Because it's actually available now. You can now just go to a store and buy one while the console wasn't in store like 3 months ago.
I know.
They fixed their supply chain and now they're fine. Yeah.
It's really good. It's good for PlayStation, of course.
Xbox isn't selling because they don't have any games. That's an entire different issue for a different podcast.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that as well at some point.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I do want to jump on the Xbox thing, by the way, because I saw that Tango Gameworks is, again, rumors, I know, but they might be working on 2 different games. One of them might be an RPG or a Japanese-inspired RPG. And another thing that came out this week was that Hi-Fi Rush, according to some, didn't really sell. But Microsoft denies that. They're saying that they're very happy with what Hi-Fi Rush did.
Yeah, I think it did well, right?
Yeah.
It was at least very popular, like in that, and then being like word to mouth was hot as a hot bun. It went like it was a big title when it was released.
Yep, sold like hotcakes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was looking for words.
Sold like hotcakes. Yeah, I think that was the expression.
Yes.
But I would love to have another Hi-Fi Rush. I still want to play this one a little more because there's stuff I haven't played yet that I have to, that's only available after you finish the game first. So there's a lot of replayability. They also added a great photo mode, which looks really good. I can now actually install it on my PC and play it. So I'm going to do that, play around with the photo mode. But Hi-Fi Rush is definitely a game that if you're into, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, that sort of game, which I'm a big fan of, definitely give that a try. It's on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, otherwise you can buy it on Steam, of course. Speaking of Steam, I think there's still a Microsoft sale, or there was a Microsoft. No, there's still a Microsoft sale going on right now. So a lot of games are like very cheap.
Do it for Microsoft.
I promise you, we're not sponsored by Microsoft.
No, it's just I'm seeing that. There's also a lot of other publishers that are currently having sales on Steam. So Dying Light 2 is on sale. Apparently, Cyberpunk 2077 is on sale. So a lot of Steam sales apparently.
So speaking about a sale, there was a big sale. The sale was called Firewalk Studios, and Sony managed to pick that one up. So they announced that today, actually yesterday. They announced it yesterday that they picked up Firewalk Studios. They're currently working on an ambitious upcoming multiplayer game, and we'll see more in the future. But they're actually added to the PlayStation Studios, and it's official now. So we'll see what they'll bring in the future.
Yep. I mean, there's a very new studio that started in 2018.
Yeah.
So they haven't published anything yet.
Nope. But apparently it's promising. Otherwise, Sony would not have bought them.
They got some cool art on their website.
Yep.
Like futuristic stuff. So
yes.
Yeah. I think they were part of another company, but I guess they were impressed by the studio, so they wanted to buy them.
They actually said so because they announced a publishing partnership back in 2021, and they're really impressed by the team's ambition and decided to actually onboard them as part of PlayStation Studios. So,
so there might be if like been working on it, and then they were like, "Hey, Sony, look at what we're doing here. You wanna get us?" And,
and they were like,
Someone was like, okay, sure.
we need some bags.
Yeah, sure.
That looks pretty good.
We'll take you under our wing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And finally, there is one more thing from a certain YouTuber,
Yes.
and that's all you Metzman.
Yeah. So last year there was a little indie game. The developer who made Dusk and worked on other games from New Blood made a little small like indie game experience called Iron Lung, which is an underwater horror experience. The game itself is fairly short. It's like a 1 hour experience where you have to navigate like an underwater cave system. And it's that volume. I got to do it because on the screen you can see like what the game entails. You're locked in this sub, and you cannot see in front of you because that hatch in the front there is going to get locked. And then the only thing you have is your navigational instruments to work with. And it was really cool game, very, very claustrophobic. It's very atmospheric. But one thing the game also did well is world building. There was like an opening statement about the world, the state of the universe was in. And there was a little terminal in that sub thing you see where you could find out about the world itself. You could ask a computer questions. So there was basically a lot of lore built around this short experience. Yeah. And Markiplier was a really big fan of the game. You can still watch his playthrough of it. And he reached out to the developer, David Szyminski. I never know how you pronounce his name. And they've been working for a long time in secret, making a movie. And this is not like a little YouTube thing. This is an actual theatrical release. Yeah. So that's big. Like this is not a small project like Markiplier did before, like this interactive cinematic thing. But they're going to release an actual theatrical movie based on Iron Lung. Script is written by Markiplier with help from the developer. Developer also said that he has a cameo in the film itself, so that's fun. And the music is going to be done by David Hultschultz. That's another name I never know how to pronounce. Who did music for a lot of indie games, also Dusk. He also did music for the Doom Eternal expansion, basically replacing Mick Gordon. Sorry. It's and for him it's also very big. And it was funny because the original developer, I think last year, someone asked him, Iron Lung movie when? Someone on Twitter asked him, and he just joked around with that. He said, "Oh yeah, we'll do Markiplier as the main character, and we'll do was it another YouTuber as the voice of the fish or something funny." He made a joke about it. And in secret, they were already in contact doing this project.
Right. Would that happen to be what was that guy's name? The Irish guy.
Yeah.
That's a funny thing because I know Markiplier and what was his name? I keep forgetting the. They were
Top in the morning. I know what you mean.
Top in the morning guy.
Why do I always?
I keep forgetting his name. Even though he worked with a company that I know some people at. So
I'm gonna look up the tweet now.
Now, you have to.
Because it's dumb. It's one of the biggest YouTubers on the planet.
I know. He did some really good stuff with
Jacksepticeye. There we go.
Jacksepticeye. That was him. I was thinking something with S. I wasn't sure, but last year, Jacksepticeye did something with sort of an interactive experience online through Twitch. And I know that Hyper RPG, this is a company that I'm a moderator for, so I have to disclose. I help them moderate their Twitch channel and their Discord. And they work with him on that interactive element using Unreal Engine 5 stuff and that sort of things. and they are shortlisted for a Webby, I think, or they got an honorable mention. I'm not sure for that experience, which is really cool. And they also work with Markiplier on some other stuff, and it's pretty cool to see that they're going to do this.
Yeah. It's kind of funny though. Like the game itself is very small and random. But yeah, it's they've been like the developer's been on set, and I think his brother as well. And they already said that this is going to be not just a fun like game adaptation, but also a good movie. They talked about that specifically. So everybody's of course very excited. At least if you know about the game, because the game itself is really it's fun. If you haven't played the game, I can highly recommend it. Just it's only an hour long, so you kind of expect that, but it's really atmospheric. It really plays with your imagination, and they said they're going to try to translate that into the movie as well.
Yeah.
So I hope we see a lot like about the world as well. I have no idea how they're gonna do it, like what the structure of this movie gonna be, but
no, I mean it's if it's gonna be like Moon, that'd be cool.
I think kind of. Yeah.
I mean it's very claustrophobic in one area, and there's the only connection that person has is with an AI apparently. So
yeah, they're probably gonna expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very, very interesting, especially since Markiplier also did some video stuff, like this interactive, like this
space thing.
Yeah, the space adventure, choose your own adventure style. I think it was.
Yeah,
which was really cool, and interesting to see. So he definitely has some chops for that. I think that's So
he's probably going to take this very of course the space stuff was a little bit tongue in cheek,
Yeah, of course.
It felt like a fun fair thing or like a theme park thing, right?
Yeah.
And this is probably going to be a lot more serious because the story of the game is quite serious as well.
Yeah.
It's creepy. It's creepy.
I mean, he can be quite serious. I've saw a video of him talking about his ADHD.
Yeah,
which kind of resonated with me, even though I don't have it. But it does seem some elements were familiar. So yeah, he can be very serious about that. A lot of stuff. So that's pretty cool to see. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So other than that, I think we're done.
Yeah, that was about it.
We don't have a lot of news left to go through, and
there was a lot of things that broke in the last few days. Like the movie news was today. So,
yeah, and the Tango Gameworks stuff.
Yep.
The Hi-Fi stuff was today as well. And I see you left for a bit.
Yeah.
Just seeing it on stream now.
It was getting hot in the room, so I opened a window.
Got it.
Fresh
air. No problem. But yeah, it's been an eventful week again.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's the plan for next week? For the coming week for you guys?
Well, I'm gonna continue probably playing Blood. I want to play some different games as well. Also, just because I want to talk about more stuff on this show, and not just I've just continued that game. So I kind of want to dive in some different games as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I never make plans as usual. I never really make big plans. But of course, tomorrow's Saturday, so I'm gonna be chilling and playing games. And same for Sunday. And the rest of the week, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't have anything big up my sleeve, I think.
Cool. And what about you, Benjiro?
So for me, I'm going to be playing more Arcana this week. Probably some Gotham Knights. On Sunday, I'm going to go to the theaters, watch the Mario movie. Let's see how that goes.
Yep, Marco just mentioned that as well.
So that's what we're gonna do. We might stream again. We're gonna move the stream from Thursday on to Wednesday, so we'll be live a few days in a row because that will probably tire me out. So we're gonna probably move that over to Wednesday, and maybe Monday will always be that optional day, I guess.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. If we do a stream on Wednesday, it will probably be me and Marco, and then on Monday, anything is up for grabs. So you'll be able to find me here on this channel.
We should play Gotham Knights at some point.
At some point, yeah.
When you have the time.
Yeah, that's kind of an issue lately. Like,
I know.
So so that's it.
All right. Well, I'm probably going to play more games. Of course, I'm going to edit the podcast, and I want to continue with Everspace 2 and Borderlands 3 right now. But there's also some other demos I want to try out, and maybe I can talk about them next week. So
interesting.
Yeah. And that's about it, I think, for this week.
Okay.
So yeah, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for being here for the live stream.
Yes.
When you're we stream on Twitch apparently these the last 2 weeks. So well, today and last week. So that's something new we're trying out.
Yeah, seems to go pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, we can move over to Kick if Twitch doesn't work out. Apparently, that's a new hot thing.
Oh, never heard of that one before.
Well, you get a bigger cut if you can make it partner there. So
yeah.
Oh, well, that's more interesting. I mean, they did change the cut here, so on Twitch
they did.
But,
okay,
yeah.
So the slightly edited down live stream will be available on YouTube on Pixels and Sprites Live. Just look it up there. Keep an eye on our Twitters. Our Twitters are below our handles. Metzman, will be there basically all the time. I will just be there when I have information to share, and I think Vash is there
occasionally
as well.
Yeah, I mean, on Twitter, right?
On Twitter, yeah.
On Twitter, yeah. I'm not that active on Twitter anymore, but I sometimes I talk about stuff that interests me. So,
okay.
All right.
So,
well,
I guess see you guys next week.
Yeah, that's it for this week. So until next time.
All right. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.